Agenda West Side Beer.
Welcome to another episode of Into the West Comics. I'm Frank. Switching it up a little bit today. No, it isn't. But I'm Frank today for all intensive purposes. Shout out Frank and Sonny. They weren't able to be here today, but you know who is? Uncle Nephew Shane is in the building.
What it be like, homies?
What it be like?
Good morning.
And then, what does Frank call you? Marcus? Brother Marcus? Is that what it is? Okay, I'm Brother Marcus. How you doing, brother?
Welcome to the Church of...
yeah.
That's what it is.
Right? Yeah.
The Church of Into the West.
Yeah, good evening, everyone.
And then last but not least, the impressionist himself, probably the funniest guy here, Donovan.
Oh, Pastor Marcus, it's good to see you here, brother.
Yeah.
Glad you're here, my brother. Brother Marcus is here. He's going to preach the word of the gospel of Punisher and the gospel of Planet Hulk, and we're very excited to hear him bring his testimony to the show today, brother.
Amen.
Brother Marcus, Pastor Marcus, we're excited to have you.
Wow.
Anyway,
Okay.
hi,
Glory
everyone.
be- glory
Good to see you. God is still good, and he is still on the throne. If your God is Loki. Follow that up,
So
Paul.
I stand by what I said.
Praise be.
But
Praise be.
So
Praise be to he.
Donovan's
Yeah.
kind of referencing something that will be coming out later in the week. If you haven't, go check out the videos we've been posting. They've been coming out like crazy. But so we got some big DC news this week, some big Marvel news involving the same person, and then we got a little bit of Star Wars stuff to talk about. But first, we're going to get into the brand new trailer for James Gunn's Christmas special of the Guardians of the Galaxy. He recently had some signings, but is still finishing up some stuff with Marvel. So we're going to check this out and give our thoughts on it.
That was smooth.
Hey, you know, I'm trying to frank it up. It's a lot
Very
more
frank.
difficult than I thought it was going
Good
to be.
job. Oh, a special presentation.
Oh, man.
I think I called it a special edition before.
I just saw on the calendar that right now on Earth it's almost Christmas time.
We don't have time for trivialities like Christmas.
But Peter's so sad about Gamora being
Mario.
gone. Maybe if we go to
forgot.
Earth for a really wonderful Christmas gift,
Potato for a minute.
it would make him happy.
This is fun.
Something special he will never forget.
What about someone special?
Is it Kevin
We're
Bacon?
looking for the legendary Kevin
Have you not seen this
Yeah, dude.
For the
I had a
legendary
feeling.
Kevin Bacon.
Just said that, Drax.
Your voice is small and mousy. I think maybe he didn't hear you. You're coming with us as a Christmas present.
Yes, dude.
I'm Groot.
And introduce Kevin Bacon.
Terrifying.
That looks so much. I've never seen that.
Wow.
I hadn't seen that because I knew that we were going to do it for the show.
Right.
I was
Yeah,
going
I
to say
didn't watch
Tom Brady when he was like, let's go somebody and get somebody because they showed the front of the
You thought it
house.
was
And I
gonna
was
be
like,
Tom Brady?
I thought it was going to be Tom Brady because I have it so ingrained in my mind from Ted 2 when they go to his house and it's Tom Brady.
I've never seen Tattoo.
And then I thought, wait, who's been on Earth? that he loves so much. And when I was like, oh, it's Kevin Bacon.
Right.
I love the idea of how terrifying it is that these people are like Kevin Bacon, like, you know, we're like Drax and Mantis or superheroes, whatever, but to Kevin Bacon in universe, they're two
insane.
monsters that showed up at his house and are attacking him.
The only thing that bums me out about seeing that is they're saying introducing Kevin Bacon. So does that mean Kevin Bacon's just going to be Kevin Bacon in the MCU and we're not going to get him as a character in the
You
MCU?
sorely underestimate the power of the multiverse.
The power of
We
Kevin.
could have
Or not, yeah.
the power of Kevin.
Yeah.
We could have
Kevin
We could
Bacon
have
Feige?
friggin' Kevin Bacon playing Silver Surfer, talking to Kevin Bacon playing Kevin
Oh
Bacon.
man, that's a real Kevin Feige move.
Kevin Ryder.
That would be a real Kevin
Ryder
Feige
Nova.
thing.
Nova
So
Corps.
how do you guys? So do you guys like this special presentation thing they're doing? Do you want to see more of it? Do you want to see? Marcus doesn't want to see more of it. What do you
Really?
think, Marcus?
Well, it looks like it's. I need to get psychologically ready for the typical James Gunn over the top humor, a la
There's going to be a lot of
Peacemaker.
that.
Yeah, you know, because I loved Peacemaker. Don't get me wrong, but man, that intro, that dancing, you know, the opening
Oh,
credits.
really?
Ooh,
I love that.
That's beyond cringe for me.
Wow.
I have to skip it. There's a
I
line.
watch it every time.
I can't do it. That's just
I'm like somewhere in the middle. I skipped it not because I thought it was cringe, but because
You wanted to get onto the show?
I just wanted to get on those shows.
Oh,
Yeah.
really? No, I,
I was
loved
the
it
same
every
way.
time.
I saw it the first 2 times. I was like,
I watched it
the
once
third
and
time I was like,
yeah.
all right,
No, that's good. I love
we
it.
can move on.
I learned
Son,
it.
move on.
I actually learned it.
No, you
man.
didn't. I was like,
man. Oh,
set
man.
up the camera.
oh man.
Go in the Taliban corner.
Do you really want to taste that? Do you really want to taste that?
Big
We need a
James Gunn
separate
guy.
segment for this
Big
guy.
James Gunn guy.
Yeah.
Wow. So
Drive that, Paul.
yeah, for real. So this is going to be the second one we're getting. For the most part, dug the special presentation last time, the Werewolf by Night thing.
Yes.
And so we get to see the Guardians for the first time in a while. Well, not really. I guess they were in Thor: Love and Thunder. It seems like they're going to be back to their goofy selves. How much are you guys expecting from this special presentation? Do you want it to like matter, just be a fun thing, or no? Like, what kind of cameos or anything like that do you expect?
For me, I would think it'd be it's just for fun, just a fun little kind of one shot,
I would hope
just
so,
to
yeah.
kind of get us into that season of cheer and just to see them again, you know, in
Yeah.
general while they're working.
Considering something's coming out very
Right,
soon, we can all
exactly.
get used to this group of people and them, you know. Considering in Thor, they were basically hating Thor.
They
weren't
could
exactly
they could not
jovial.
wait to get rid of him.
I mean, yeah, they weren't exactly jovial in that
So
one.
that was one of those few parts of that movies that I thought worked really well. Was Thor was so like just annoying and over the top at this point that even the Guardians were tired of him. They were like, "All right, dude, all right, man."
Yeah.
But so kind of, I really
I wanted to go with them.
I'm super interested in what Marcus is going to have to say about the DC stuff because, so as we know, James Gunn recently has been took over DC, the DC extended universe or whatever we're calling it now. He's going to be helming those projects and he's going to be driving that forward, which is what some people have been asking for a long time. I feel like I've been asking for that. So I'm going to start with Marcus. How do you feel now that James Gunn is going to be on top of that and producing those movies?
I think that it'll be good. It just depends on if he's gonna just lend his same approach that he's lended to other shows that he's worked on the whole way through, or is he going to show some kind of range where, some things are going to be more on the serious side,
Right.
Or versus, or is everything just going to be over the top? We're just going to have fun with the characters, and just everything is going to be like Suicide Squad, his Suicide Squad, or his Peacemaker. There's going to need to be some variation in that approach.
Right.
So hopefully. I'm cautiously optimistic. I'll just put it that way.
So I guess that's where the concern is, right?
Mhm.
Will he push projects that are a little more self-serious? I would hope so. I would think so. What do you two think?
Or will DC will they push him to make things that are inherently funny? Do they want more fun because
That might be
Disney
what they
is
want.
that way? Because Disney is a lot of fun, or are they gonna? This is what worked in the past: is Guardians of the Galaxy, the humorous side, the Thor stuff works on many levels. Are they gonna do that all the way,
Right.
when it comes to DC stuff, or are they just gonna, we trust you, we
I
understand.
think that my hope is that James Gunn brings in people much like Feige, has a structure for where it needs to go, but he lets it be their voice. Maybe even a little more so than Feige and Marvel does.
Right.
He gets people on board and allows them to tell their story, much in the way Matt Reeves has with the Batman, and it just fits within this larger culvert that they're building. Now, do we think that James Gunn is going to say, forget about all the stuff that has happened before and start building something new? Will he take some elements and spin it into kind of like Peacemaker, where it's like it's the same universe for the most part, but it's a different story that's disconnected? Or does he stay in the Snyderverse, if you will, and keep developing that?
It already looks like he's well, at least the rumor is that they're already trying to distance themselves from that Snyderverse because of, like, just with the sheer relabeling. So no longer it being DCEU, it's just DCU.
Right.
So that's lending some credibility to the rumor that they're trying to do some sort of separation there.
Mm-hmm.
And then with some of the comments that even Henry Cavill has made in terms of like, oh, well, I'm looking forward to playing a bright and hopeful Superman.
Mm-hmm.
That's already kind of like saying, okay, Snyder, we're tired of your emo and your resurrection suit Superman. We want to go back to the traditional bright, hopeful Superman story. Maybe for the next Superman, perhaps. We'll see. We'll see. Because I'm kind of wondering. I think the thing that I'm really the most interested in is what we're going to do with Justice League.
Mm-hmm.
What are we going to do? Are we going to meet in the middle between the Justice League version or the Snyder Cut? Where we're going to go? That's the one. That's the for me, because Justice League is such a great and important group that needs to be done well. And,
I agree.
And Zack Snyder did a great job. I like his version. Don't
I like
get
it
me wrong.
much better than the Justice League, if you
For
will.
sure, but
Right.
it took him 4 hours to make that.
I agree. You can't.
No,
I know Jonathan's got some strong opinions. I want to hear him.
Here's the problem with what DC has and what Marvel does so well. So when they made this announcement of James Gunn coming back, I was a little trepidatious about hearing it. I remember a few months back ago on this show, I had said I was excited for what James Gunn was doing with Peacemaker. I hope he takes over the DC.
Yeah,
I was like, that's what I wanted. I want him to take over DC. And then we heard he's not interested. It's not going to happen. And I just threw that away. I went, oh,
Right.
that makes sense because he's such an independent filmmaker. He understands what he wants and how he wants to tell the story. And Paul kind of convinced me like maybe he won't do it overall just because of that, of who he is as an individual. And maybe they'll get someone else who's more of a producer that can help fit these things. And I was like, all right, cool. So when it was announced, I was like, okay, all right, cool. That's fine. He's a good guy. He understands story. He understands character. And that's important. When they, like I said, they first announced this, I decided I was going to go back and watch every Marvel movie, and show, but I'm going to start in the canonical order. So I started
like
with
Captain Marvel.
I started with Captain Captain America, then went to Captain Marvel, and then did the one shot of Agent Carter after. I mean, I've done all of them up. I just finished Iron Man 3.
How long did that take?
Oh, I'm still in it. I'm within Iron Man. I just got to Iron Man 3.
Oh, so you're still pretty early on.
Wow.
Before even Ultron, we got 3 Iron Man movies,
Yeah.
2 Thor movies.
DC rushed it.
Yeah, that's the problem. We haven't spent any time with any of these beloved characters in the DC universe. We haven't spent time with Superman. We've spent 2.5 hours in a movie that was all over the place. While I'll say that's the most comic accurate Superman we've seen put to film.
Talking about Justice League?
No, I'm talking about Man of Steel.
Oh,
Man of Steel was an all right movie. It wasn't the perfect Superman movie. I mean, they kind of fumbled up on a couple of things as far as Jonathan Kent's death. I think him having a heart attack is a little more impactful than him saying, no, don't come save me, even though you can. Because the idea of him having a heart attack is there's literally nothing Superman can do to help him. There's nothing that he can do to help him.
Right.
In the movie, it was like, no, you can't show everybody. And I was like,
Really? Yeah.
and even though as a child he lifted a bus out of a
for
river.
real.
Right.
Okay, we're not going to tell anybody that he can do anything.
That's one of those things where had this universe progressed in a more positive way, like not like cheery positive way, and like the movies were better, that wouldn't bother me as much. But then little things like that start to bother me.
Man.
Like, and being 100% honest with you, I love Superman and I love everything that character stands for.
Same.
I wasn't bothered by the end when he kills Zod.
Neither was
thought
I.
it worked for the story they were telling, but then he became super dour and dreary and sad.
Yeah.
And they really shot themselves in the foot with trying to do the death of Superman and Dark Knight Returns in the same
All
movie.
in one movie.
And you start off with a
And not even Dark
45-year-old
Knight Returns. It's a portion of Dark Knight
Right.
Returns. It's the last act of Dark Knight
which
Returns.
only works in that comic because of the
And
whole
in that
other.
context, because at some point Batman fakes his death and convinces Superman that he's dead, but only lowers his heart rate. Like, come on, guys! Like, what are we doing here?
Yeah.
I mean,
If you're gonna
they
make a
don't wanna
Dark
put-
Knight movie, make a Dark Knight movie.
Their problem is they don't want to put the work in. they didn't want to get the payoffs without putting any work in. DC.
Or it could have been just Zack Snyder. They probably told him, "Hey, you only have 3 movies to make this happen."
Get
And
to work.
So he just pretty much put everything into every.
See, I don't know if I
project
got
he
that.
could.
I don't know if I want to give him that credit though.
I don't want to give him that credit either.
I think he wanted to have those stories to
Yeah.
tell himself. And I
okay.
get that, but it was maybe it was a combination of both. He wanted to tell those stories and he only had a certain amount of time to do it in. But
Right.
it didn't really seem like he was off board until he had some really tragic things happen with his family.
Right.
And then there was like some critical backlash to his films. And that's when it seemed like they started to move away. It seemed like they were going to ride off into the sunset with him before
Right.
Batman versus Superman was a mess. But yeah, just starting with a 45-year-old Batman, you're going to start third movie into your universe.
Yeah.
If it was even that, might have even been the second one.
I
don't
just
know at this
remember
point.
watching the press junkets and going, this Batman is not the Batman we're used to. This Batman's been around for a very long time. And I went, right out of the gate, I went, whoa, so you mean to tell me we don't get to see anything that he did before? All you're going to do is show us a Robin suit with bullet holes in it that says jokes on you, ha ha ha, or whatever it said on there.
Right.
Like, we don't get to see that.
Right.
We don't get to see that amazing moment in comic book history.
Right.
Okay, we don't like.
Yeah.
I felt like they robbed us of a lot of things
They
when it
rushed
came
a
to
lot of things.
Batman and Superman, the two most titular, most popular superheroes in the history of comic books.
There should
Right
be
there.
their number one and number
Spider-Man's
two.
the only one that could be right there.
Yeah.
Right.
And they somehow didn't give us anything for them. And then I love the way Wonder Woman started out. And then it poo-pooed in 84. It just got bad. We never
movie was
got a Green
bad.
Lantern for that universe. And the Green Lantern we did do is just a punchline for Ryan Reynolds in Deadpool movies.
Yeah.
So what do we get? And,
that's
then we got
exactly
Marvin the Martian. We got Martian Manhunter. We got Martian Manhunter at the end
Yeah. Somebody's gonna
of
see this.
Snyder Cut.
Right.
And it was Colonel Stokes or whatever his name was the whole time.
Yeah.
The whole time. Like, come
Yeah, but then
on.
nothing happens. Like they throw things at us willy nilly, and
Right.
there's nothing to prop these things up. Things just kind of happen in
Yeah.
these movies.
Right.
You're just going, shouldn't this be bigger than what
And
they
now
were
we have
trying-
this Flash movie coming up. So is this Flash movie going to be a total Control Alt Delete, and we're going to start from fresh,
See-
or do we just cherry pick the good things from
that's-
the
I
movie
think that's
and
what's gonna
build
happen.
the
I
universe
think
from
they
that?
do.
That's what's gonna
I think
happen.
they do that for two reasons. We were talking about this in the chat the other day. I think they do that because there was stuff that worked, and we were talking about this. Aquaman is the 25th biggest movie of all time. You know how many DC movies
crazy.
have made more money than Aquaman?
Zero.
Not a single one. You know how many Lord of the Rings movie made more money than Aquaman? Zero. None of them. Wow. The Aquaman was Aquaman's like $1.8 billion at the, maybe not that much. It's 1 billion or something.
It's
But
past a
Is
billion for sure.
crazy.
That is.
it's insane.
Right.
So they, from like a
One of my
marketing
favorites, by the way.
standpoint, I agree. I really enjoy that movie. I think visually it's a lot of fun. I think some of the acting's not always great, but whatever.
Right.
But that was a massive success. They can't throw that away. They
Right.
can't. It would be, we talk about how stupid Warner Brothers is all the time with these properties. That would be stupid
Right.
for them to throw that property away that has been so successful.
Right.
Yeah, and then the green lighting projects like Blue Beetle.
Which, in a world where we had good stories for the characters that we really, really care about, I would be more interested in Blue Beetle. But when that's the tentpole thing, I'm like, well, I
And
mean,
that's how I feel. Like, you can't get Superman and Batman right.
But you're gonna throw.
But you're gonna
Blue
go. We're
Beetle
gonna green
as-
light
yeah.
Blue Beetle.
Booster Gold is next.
Let's do it.
Right.
Let's-
Right.
and then Black Adam. I know that it's, hey guys, it's #1 at the box office.
Wait, was that Stone Cold or was that?
That's the Rock because I can't do the people's. This is Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Okay, there we go.
What? No. So Black Adam is atrocious.
It had like a historical drop off
it's
in the second week
It's
too.
a bad movie. There's some cool action moments, but it's a bad movie, and it is not the hierarchy of the DC universe.
Oh boy!
And I watched some of the press junkets with The Rock. All he asked everybody was, "What'd you think of the end? Or what did you think of the credits?"
Yeah.
Okay.
What?
Not
Really?
what did you think of the
Shut
story? What did you think of that? I'm sure he asked that to a few people, but the only things that I saw were, "Did you see the end
You
credits?"
seen? I got that
So
guy
I'm
back
like,
in the movie.
wait,
I
so
said I was
we-
gonna get back in the movie.
We did a whole right. So he's a dude disguised as a dude playing another dude.
Wow.
So that to me, so seeing that,
All in
I'm
the
just
game
like,
called it aggressively okay.
it was just so bad. It was like The Rock's like, I like working out to these songs. Put them in the movie.
Yeah.
You got
But the
it.
thing is, so James Gunn he's basically focusing on Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman.
God knows. I mean,
Will we get a James Gunn Green Lantern at any point? Do you think that
how many more movies do you think he's gonna direct and write himself?
Exactly. Like how deep is he
Zero.
getting into this
Kevin
himself?
Feige is he going to be? Because I know there's the other guy, Safran. He's also involved with him. I don't know too much of his body of work, but is he gonna kind of like, is Gunn gonna still direct things and Safran's gonna be kind of like the full behind the scenes thing?
I don't think so.
I have no
I
idea.
think Gunn's not going to direct. I think he'll have help in writing and developing, but I think if he's going to be the Kevin Feige going forward and sort of the face of the DC universe, he won't direct. And if he is going to direct, it's going to be a property he's already done with DC, i.e. being Suicide Squad or Peacemaker.
Right.
Yeah, and it makes sense because he's going to have to be the one who has some sort of vision. So and I'm glad that he and Kevin Feige are boys because maybe they can, swap notes and help each other out because you need to have, even though they're different companies, I understand that you still need to have a clear vision outlined and it needs to be maintained and you need to pick the right people for the right time, right projects, whether it be casting, directing, writing, all that. And so my biggest concern, and I hope it doesn't prove the same with James Gunn, is we don't want him to be formulaic, which is one of those.
Yeah.
Which is a problem we had with Marvel,
right? Because we're starting to see kind of a formula with all these movies, and everyone can kind of go to a Marvel movie, and see. Okay, this is going to.
They know what
is happening.
This is probably going to happen. Oh, I just saw that in the chair. Okay, so that means that's going to happen. So when you start watching stuff and you can kind of predict where it's probably going to go, then that means you need to kind of shake it up a little bit and maybe.
And I feel like,
I hope Quantum Mania doesn't.
not to get on a whole other tangent, I didn't feel like the Werewolf by Night was as different as everyone was saying it was. It felt not as intense as I was expecting, and that's my fault. But I enjoyed it.
Right.
I did. But I was like, this isn't as different as I think some people are saying. All in the Game in the chat says Safran produced Shazam, Aquaman, and the Conjuring movies.
Okay.
Those are all well produced.
Okay.
And
You can hang your hat on those.
Yeah, those are solid universe
Shazam.
building stuff. The Conjuring movies, Shazam fits in. I love Shazam. I know
love that.
it's
That's
not
one of my
necessarily for
favorites, too.
everybody.
Same here.
It's one of my favorites.
One of my favorites.
And Aquaman I very much enjoy. So it sounds like there are people that in theory are helming this that should be. But I mean, we'll find out.
But we don't have a Batman.
Yeah.
We don't have a Batman.
Well, we
in this
do.
No. We don't have a Batman in this universe unless they're going to say Pattinson is going to be a part of this
You
universe.
never know what's the Flash movie.
So then
Right.
I propose to you, fine gentlemen, Pattinson being in the universe with Cavill's Superman. Your thoughts?
I think it could work.
It could work.
Pattinson has to evolve to a certain point.
Right.
I want an Earth One universe. That's pie in the sky.
Well, that's
I don't
what I was
think
going
that's
to
going to
ask.
happen.
This Gotham City in the DC universe that we've established already, it feels so. It doesn't feel like a DC movie when I watch the Batman. So
You mean like DCEU movie?
yeah, maybe. I just don't see we know that at some point Superman goes to Gotham and vice
Right.
versa, and Batman goes to Metropolis at some points, and
Right.
like. Can we see Henry Cavill in that Gotham City?
But let me ask you, Did the first Iron Man movie feel like Thanos could come down and have all the Infinity Gems? I think maybe Monday Morning Quarterback you'd say yes, but I don't know about that.
I think, and I'm glad you mentioned that, because when I watched the post-credit scene, we see Nick Fury go, he has his monologues about, you think you're the only person out there who has special abilities? I'm putting together a team, and then it cuts to black. I remember watching that going,
That triggered it for you.
My God. They're gonna do some incredible things. Because I remember thinking at the time, I was like, oh my God, if they get the X-Men and they do this, they can go this story route, they can go this story out, this story route. DC hasn't given us anything to look forward to as far as I even mentioned to you guys, let's do the Dark Saga. Like, why don't we do that? Like this Dark Side's like ultimate saga from the 80s. Like that would be incredible to put in. And I think that's film.
I think that was what Zack Snyder was trying to do. He was trying to
expedite it.
Yeah, right. In the 16-hour Justice League cut, he was trying to he was setting it up for the New Gods movie, I think.
All he needed was a day to make the movie work.
Yeah, because I remember just in the way that the Justice League ended, it was like you had Darkseid talking to Granny Goodness was like right behind him, and on the other side you had Desaad, and he's like, all right, we're going back to Earth, we're going the old way, or something like you said.
Right.
Ready the Armada, we're going in the old way. So when he said that, I was like, okay, all right, so we're getting ready to do some, all right, and then we can bring in the Green Lantern, which they changed to Martian Manhunter.
Yeah, he's trying to give us some links.
He was trying to, because I was looking for I wanted to see some green rings, bro.
The Zack Snyder Justice League laid the groundwork much better than anything to that point had. Truly. But it's just so marred. We're running out of time. I think we could talk about this all day.
Yes.
But we got some more content to make for you guys that will be coming out through the week. Uncle Nephew Shane, what do you got for the people?
I love Laura Donnelly.
Oh,
that's all I'm going to say. As soon as you said Werewolf by Night, I just looked her up immediately on my phone, and I love Laura Donnelly with all my heart. She's not a redhead, but she's pasty enough.
And brother Marcus, what do you have for the people?
Brother Marcus,
yes,
Pastor,
yes.
So this Saturday is the Library Fest. So if you guys aren't doing anything, starting, I believe it starts at 9:30, 10 o'clock sometime at the Flamingo Library. We will be setting up, hopefully weather is good. And we were there last year. We were just Maximum Comics, me and Warren from the Southwest store will be down there giving out free comics to people who were coming out. And it was a lot of fun. There were a lot of vendors there last time, and like Shimson's was there, Cosmic Comics was there.
Nice.
Shout out to them. They're awesome too. And we were giving away free comics. They were selling stuff. Lots of back issues were out there for people to go through, long boxes and whatnot, and hardcovers. And also they had, that was actually where I first saw Mark Russell, met Mark Russell.
That's dope.
So they did have artists and writers. I'm not exactly sure. I didn't get a chance to look real quick to see who they secured this year, but it was a lot of fun. So
Sin City Comics will be there as well. We met them at the Comic-Con. They're awesome.
Oh yeah.
Nice. Look forward to that. That's exciting.
Right, this Saturday.
Saturday, be there. Donovan, what do you got for the people?
Well, I know what I'm doing this Saturday.
There you go. There you have it.
Take my boys, go get some comics.
Closed. Yeah,
all
right. Fun.
So,
and then I also wanted to shout out Maximum Comics, their newest location. I've been a few times since then on the northwest side of town, off Tenay and Azure. Go check them out if you're on that side of town.
I gotta get down there.
Yeah, go meet Brandon and Pat and all the cool guys that are over there.
Yep. And Marcus. Don't forget about Marcus.
Yeah, and Marcus. If he's ever there, I don't
know about all that.
Yeah, I'm mostly at the Southwest location now that everything's kind of starting to wind down. I was mainly there primarily.
I won't see Marcus.
I was primarily there just to kind of assist with the transition.
Yeah, whatever.
But I mean, if Brandon needs me, he knows how to hit me up if he needs extra help. So it's all good. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So social. I don't have Frank to team me up. It felt weird. So the social media.
Hey,
stuff,
where can they find us, Paul?
Oh, they can find us at on the
Paulie Hot
socials.
Dog.
Thank you, Donovan. At socials at Into the West Comics on Instagram, at Into_comics on Twitter, and Into the West Comics on what is that called? TikTok. And you can go find us there.
is that called?
And audio platforms, Spotify, Apple. Go listen to us on there. And last but not least, we made an announcement last week that we would have a winner of a ticket to go to our screening of Wakanda Forever. And that winner is going to be longtime supporter of the show. Awesome dude, Marcel. So Marcel's going to get that ticket. And he's going to come with us to see Wakanda Forever. I will be giving away more tickets. Like we said, we're just trying to make sure we do it even. We don't give away too many. We got a lot. We want to give away
We're
too
excited.
many.
We're excited for the
very
premiere
excited.
next week.
Absolutely.
But thanks for hanging out with us again this weekend. Man, Frank is killing it. This is hard. Frank's the best. I mean, I miss him. I want him back.
We love you, Frank. We love you, Sonny.
Sonny, miss you too, brother.
Bye, Sonny and Frank.
And Laura Donnelly. Bye, Laura Donnelly.
Have a good evening, guys. Good week. See you next time.
I love you, Eva.
Break it.
This is nothing.
Break it. Get it.